Hello, hello, hello. Oh my goodness. Getting on live was a pain in the royal backside. Apologies about this. And hopefully we will get started. Just going to wait for Amy to join, as this is Amy's story after all. So, I need to figure out how to invite the wonderful Amy down. Amy. Nope. It's such a pain in the backside. It's so annoying that now they've not let Zoom stream live into Facebook. So that's a pain in my ass. Just gotta wait for Amy to request to join. Amy, if you are around, I need you to hit the request to join button. I'm on now. Hit request to join. See, if Facebook didn't do all of this, then it'd be so much easier to get everyone on and we'd be started by now. Apologies, guys, but if you can just hang about for just a minute. Here we go. Bring them on video. There we go. Nice. Send invitation. Excellent. Okay. Finally, getting there. Thank you so much for your patience, my wonderful human beings. I appreciate you. Let's just close that. Okay. Come on down, Amy. Hello. How are you?
Hello.
Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry about the last minute change. I was like, we need to stream into the Facebook group.
Just takes me a while.
No, you're all good. You're all good. How are you today?
Good.
Fantastic. Okay, so I wanted to share your story because I feel like it is incredibly inspirational. I'm just going to turn you down a little bit because I'm receiving a little bit of feedback. So this is Amy, and she has been a client of mine for a while, and I just want to start this interview by reading the following passage, which I received from Amy. Before, I was depressed, no self-worth, eating processed food only, doing minimal movement, and giving my all to others. What? All my all? Did I say that? I literally slept most nights in a birthing barn. Now it's completely different. I sleep inside my house in a bed, journal, plan my food, eat way more actual food, and worthy and building self-trust, listen to hunger and fullness, getting 6,000 steps per day versus 2,000 before. My outlook on life is so much better. I had a dream that could already be filled and moving on to bigger goals and dreams I never thought possible. People have noticed a change in my outlook, my face, happiness, and demeanor. Wow. Can we just take a moment, because that is a huge shift. I mean, depressed, no self-worth, eating processed food only, minimal movement, sleeping in an animal birthing barn, to everything else. Just take a moment to really absorb that. Imagine what life was like for you. So first of all, Amy, thank you so much for jumping on this call with me. Sorry, my eyes are probably flicking over to the left-hand side of the screen, but I've got my notes here. I'd really love to start just with you telling us what life was like for you before. Like, what was life like before we started working together for you?
Very different. Just like what you had said. The self-worth and deserving to sleep in a bed, eat off a plate at a table, eating real food, serving myself first. Those have all been huge huge shifts. I didn't realize at the time how bad it was until you change and then look back.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So your self-worth, let's just clarify, your self-worth was so low that you didn't eat sitting down, that you decided to sleep in the barn. All of these things, right? And not eating whole food, putting everyone else first, of course, that's a very typical trait. All of this first, right? And I remember you saying that you also had a dairy and carb addiction too.
Yes.
What else was going on for you at the time? Anything else?
Not a whole lot of movement. Just the mind shift has been huge.
Mm-hmm.
Shift.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so before the mindset shift, was that the low self-worth, low self-esteem, lack of belief that you deserved practically anything?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so tell us a little bit more about the weight and kind of like what was your initial reason for coming to me in the first place? Was it to lose weight?
Yes.
Okay. And can you tell me a little bit more about that? Like, how long had you been wanting to lose weight for?
I've been wanting to for 14 years. But I didn't think I could.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
And so for 14 years, what have you tried?
Well, everything. Like paleo, Whole30, beach body. I don't just. It seems like I tried everything,
Mm-hmm.
but it just didn't stick because I didn't believe I could.
Okay. Okay. So you've tried different types of diets, you've tried different types of programs, different types of systems. And can you tell me, like, you've worked with doctors as well, worked with an online PT for 10 years, did you say? I think you told me you worked with an online
Mm-hmm.
PT. Yeah, for
Yeah.
10 years, right? 14 years is a very long time. Do you feel like you were happy with your body for 14 years?
No, not at all.
Okay, so for like the majority of the 14 years.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's a long time. That's a long time. Okay. And so how did it feel not seeing any huge shift from these other avenues?
I think each time it made the belief in myself and my self-esteem, self-worth even lower.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And every time we sign up to something and it doesn't work, and we sign up to something else and it doesn't work, and we just feel like we are back where we started. I mean, how did that feel for you every single time?
Yeah, or worse, because it was just another failure. It was just another failure. I failed.
Mm-hmm. 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 And so did you see any kind of similar results to what you've experienced from the last 6 months?
No,
Okay.
not at all.
Okay. And I just want to clarify, I want to be open and honest and clarify that we haven't shifted a huge amount of physical weight, but we've shifted a shit ton of mental weight, haven't we?
Huge. Yes.
Mm-hmm. So while we might not have
Oh,
dropped a huge amount of pounds on the scale,
hi.
so much has changed internally. And I just want to pinpoint that when someone has such low self-esteem and self-worth, it is very difficult to just jump on the tools and the weight loss tools kind of train and go from there. So, honest question for you then, does it feel like after this last 6 months that even though you haven't lost weight, or that because you haven't lost a specific amount of pounds, does it feel like another one of those diet programs?
No, not at all.
And I just want to pre-frame that I have not asked or spoken to Amy about this before. I'm genuinely interested because I told you that you're very inspiring to me and to many. Okay, so I worked with doctors for years. We've been working closely with an online PT for 10 years. I've got here as well free fast results masterclasses. You've tried paleo diets, keto diets. Have you said that you tried keto diets?
I did that too.
Okay, yeah. Keto diets. We're plant-based when you came to me, right? Or want to be more plant-based when you came to me. And in order for us to get out of our own way to actually start implementing results and seeing them, there's a lot of internal mindset stuff that needs to be shifted first. One can't just simply jump in and lose weight, especially when all of these things have you've practiced and tried these things and they haven't worked. And I think fundamentally from all of these things, they're all kind of like, just do this, just do this, just do this. And please jump in and correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, I'm probably putting my name on the line here, just doing this completely live and unscripted with you or anything like that. But what's happened in the past is just do this and do this and do this. Like, move your body more, eat 1,200 calories, or just eat smoothies every day. And I don't feel like they really tap into all of the things that have been stopping you from actually putting yourself first. And again, correct me if I'm wrong, we cannot actually start taking big steps and progress if our self-worth and self-esteem is so damn low that you don't deserve any more than a birthing barn, right?
Yeah.
Like we had to start from zero, from very bottom. We had to start from the very bottom, and that was the most fundamental things and the biggest things that have shifted for you, haven't they?
Yes.
Amazing.
Sure.
So just 6 months later, we've completely shifted our mindset.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not 100%, got a long way to go, but in just 6 months, can you tell us a little bit more about like what's going on for you now, just 6 months down the road?
Yeah. My biggest dream was to take my kids to an amusement park. I tried like last week and they didn't want to go, but the whole fact that I could go out in public with them was huge. And so now it's like I have bigger dreams and bigger goals, and I thought the amusement park would be like my ultimate lifetime goal, not just 6 months later.
Wow. Okay, so just to clarify that, when me and Amy started working together, her biggest goal was to take the kids to the theme park. And it wasn't just to be able to like put them in a car and drive there. The biggest battle for you, Amy, what was the biggest battle? Like, what was stopping you from just taking your kids there?
Being seen in public.
Okay, so literally such minimal self-worth and self-esteem and self-love that you didn't want to be seen in public.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us what happened while we were working together? Like, holiday, girls' holiday, aeroplane?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just clarify one more time. Amy's biggest goal was to be able to do something in public. And please correct me if I'm wrong. And again, I'm probably putting my name on the line here because I don't know what your answers are going to be. To boil that down, that is just confidence and self-worth and self-esteem to be able to do that. But did you think that it was going to be a weight thing? So the weight come off first and then you were going to be able to go and have the confidence?
Yeah.
Okay. So this happens quite a lot, right? And it happens like, if I do X, then I will get Y result. But it's not always the case. For example, clients who have achieved their goal number, they might not be happy, or they might be happy before they get to their number, because they didn't realize that the feelings and thoughts that they wanted to have around that number could be achieved from a different number or a different perspective. And that's what we've seen here. Your ultimate goal was to be able to go out in public, and we set the goal of, right, let's get these tickets printed off for this theme park and have them there, and you were going to take them, like, genuinely next door to it, weren't you? And they just didn't want to go, which is ridiculous. But the point is that had they have said yes, you would have gone, right?
Right.
Okay.
And here I am on a Facebook Live. Holy moly.
And here you are on a Facebook Live, and there you went off on a girls' trip while we were working together a couple of weeks ago.
Yep.
You got on an aeroplane and flew off, and the girls were saying what about you?
I just had a different glow.
You had a glow.
Yeah.
Amazing. So something so life-crippling has been able to shift and change from a weight loss program. How amazing is that?
Very.
But from that, we have created opportunities and avenues, right? From that, we have created all of these little avenues of ways that you can develop and strengthen that self-worth, self-esteem, self-love, all of that lot. So you can start, or so you can continue, should I say, and up level all of the habits and everything that you're already doing. So we needed to shift that, and that does take a little bit of time. And then we've got some tools and we've got some habits. But if I gave you the tools and habits on week 1, it would have just been like, well, you know, as soon as we get a result, we just don't want to do that, because that's not who I am, right? So self-sabotage is constantly kicking in. So we really, really needed to nurture that inner part of you that was like, hey, look, this is okay, this is safe, this is you, and you know, we're going to make a positive change here. And so we really nurtured that the inner Amy that just needed a little cuddle, right?
Yeah.
Amazing. You're so fantastic. So tell me what you're doing now that's different.
Moving my body, eating real food.
How does that feel?
Good.
Yeah.
So good. My body actually likes real food.
How about that?
I know.
What kind of real food? Can you give us an example?
Well, I hadn't touched vegetables for many years, and so now my goal is to have a vegetable with every meal, and that's been very successful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a push at first, but again, we needed to dig deep first, didn't we? We couldn't just go in on the surface level typical weight loss programs. And this is why other things don't work, because they weren't designed for you and to nurture that little Amy. Okay, so you're actually eating vegetables. How does that feel inside your body?
Good. It likes it. Way more energy. Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, so from eating healthier foods, you've got more energy. Did you just say? Amazing. So much more energy, eating healthier foods. You're smiling for a start.
Yeah.
I mean, it took a few months until I saw a little smile on that face, I think. But that's the beauty of your transformation, is sometimes I wish that I could secretly record my first sessions with a lot of clients, because just the glow, and I can't describe this to anyone else watching this, just your glow and your smile and your happiness and joy is radiating from this camera so much now, especially compared to when we first started talking. As anyone can imagine, with crippling low self-esteem like that, it's very like, I don't think we were able to joke around or have a huge amount of like laughter or anything like that, because I just don't feel like you were I just don't feel like you were in a place.
Right.
So you've got more energy. What else are we doing?
Drinking water. Not soda or milk all the time. It's been a big one. Just listening to hunger and fullness cues
What does
it's not
that do for you? Tell me what difference that makes for you.
not emotionally eat, or definitely not as much.
Okay, so because people people might not necessarily understand what listening to hunger and fullness actually. Oh, she's off. Anyone who's watching this might not necessarily understand like what actually listening to hunger and fullness is physically doing. So as Amy was just about to say there, and I need to bring her back on again, send invitation. Okay, right. So yeah, as I was just saying, people might not necessarily understand like what listening to your hunger and fullness is actually doing. So for you, then it means that you're just easily eating less. Is that right?
Oh, by far, yeah.
Okay. And how much like effort does that put in? Like, is it like tracking calories? Is it like counting calories?
Not at all.
And okay, so would you go so far as to say, and I don't mean to be putting words in your mouth here, is it like effortless, or is it like really hard? Like where is it on the scale?
It's definitely more toward the effortless. It's not completely a habit. Like, it's still something I have to think about or be reminded about.
Excellent. Okay, so listening to your own body, which basically means that you're actually eating less in the meantime as a byproduct. Amazing. What else are you doing?
Yeah, well, and along with that, like I've craved healthier food, and before, when it was so processed, it was also so much higher calorie. And then I totally forgot. I'm sorry.
No, that's all good. So yeah, so what you're doing is you have been able to eat healthier foods, and because you're eating healthier foods, you're craving healthier foods, right? Yeah.
Yes.
And so because you're craving healthier foods and eating healthier foods, you're eating lower calories.
Yes.
Fantastic. Okay. Anything else that you feel like you might be doing now that you weren't doing beforehand? Or seeing or feeling? Anything that's changed?
I can't explain how much my mindset has changed and outlook on life and possibilities. Like,
okay.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit more about that? I know you just said I can't explain, but can you try?
It's such, like, when I thought of happiness, it wasn't near like this. Like, everything is bigger and brighter and beautiful and more achievable than I ever thought starting. And I can do changes in some of these just little habits at a time. It makes it so doable.
That's incredible. So, like, your level of happiness has just gone completely through the roof, like, just phenomenally increased, but also your capacity or your knowledge of capacity, like what you genuinely think was happy has now like increased, and now it's like even happier. It's like the upper limits, they call it. I can't remember what researcher calls it the upper limits, but it's like as soon as you like feel and experience this like almost like a high, like a level of happiness, then like you kind of like push that limit up there. So you'll always be circulating in this because you don't necessarily know what's any higher, but your upper limit was very low. So now like what you experience in your happiness is like just much more and much brighter and much happier and more energetic.
Yes.
That's
Impossible.
amazing. Possible. I love that. Okay, so also just to add to this, you're sleeping in a bed now.
Yes, inside a house.
Inside a house, lucky you. Amazing. What have you been doing with this, with more energy?
Playing with my kids more.
Yeah.
Um,
And that was a big goal of yours as well,
yeah,
wasn't it?
yeah, for sure.
And so
Just the
has
whole
that,
energy. Okay.
no, please.
Just the whole energy or atmosphere around my house and family has changed.
Amazing. So not only has this had an impact on you, but it's also had a huge impact on your family then.
Yes.
Okay, so can you tell me a little bit more about that?
I laugh because wow. Um you had me do a smoothie and like now that's our treat. We don't have ice cream. We have smoothies. Oh my gosh.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. That's amazing. So as a household, we've completely like eliminated ice cream as a treat, and we've brought in a much healthier treat, which is a smoothie, like a fruit smoothie.
Mm-hmm.
That's fantastic. And the kids, they actually want
Yeah, they request it.
those. What did you say? Yes.
Yes, they request it.
They request it. So your family also having like a knock-on effect, a ripple effect you're having with your family because they're also eating healthier and they're eating more less processed foods and more whole foods, would you say?
Yes.
Fantastic. Okay. Can you tell me a little bit more about your relationships then? Because we mentioned that this is having a ripple effect with your kids and with your family, and you said you've got more energy to play around with them. So has it kind of had an impact with the amount of time or effort that you're able to put in with them?
Yeah, I spend more time with them. Um, Another thing that we had worked on was kind of like boundaries, but with the better self-esteem, self-worth, I've been able to set some very well boundaries that I never thought I'd be able to do with some difficult people. And that's given
Amazing.
me a lot more time too.
Amazing. Amazing. While we're on it, do you mind sharing about what used to happen when you served up meals versus what happens now?
Yeah, I'd cook and then the kids would eat. Um, Very rarely was there anything left, so then I just grab a cookie or something as well, a package of cookies as my meal. Um, but now I've learned to like I dish up mine and then they can have it. And and they're not any hungrier or anything. And they've said, you know, have you gotten yours yet, Mom? And
Wow. Okay, so this is monumental. I remember it took a couple of sessions for me to truly understand what actually happened here. Is you would spend hours in the kitchen preparing food for the kids. They would then take it blissfully unaware because it was just what happens, right? It's just what mum does. It's not necessarily out of order. It was just because that was just what they've grown up to do. So
mm-hmm,
you would then serve the food. They would then demolish the food, but you wouldn't have taken any food beforehand. So what that meant for you was eating a lot of junk food, again, processed food, late at night because you would have been so hungry and you
yeah,
wouldn't have eaten a whole meal at dinner.
right.
And how often was this happening?
Oh, every day.
Okay, so you were gaining weight because you weren't actually eating enough volume. You just weren't eating at all. And then the food that you were eating was highly processed junk food, super, super late at night. And so this weight loss program has had a huge impact in multiple ways. And you mentioned about setting boundaries. So, how hard was it to overcome that idea of having just a conversation or even serving yourself first?
At the time, it was super hard, super hard. it was often, I often didn't, or would just forget, but checking in and talking with you, and I mean, it was like such a huge celebration the first time I did it.
Yeah. And guess what?
Like,
Nobody died.
yes,
Nobody
yes.
starved. Nobody died. Nobody starved. And in fact, you were able to strengthen up that self-love, that self-worth, and start building that trust that you can be a human being, that you deserve love, that you deserve to eat. Just the first step, just putting yourself first. How incredible is that? Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, so we're incorporating healthy foods and a healthy lifestyle into family meals and having a ripple effect with the kids, which is fantastic. And you've been taking a lot of pressure off yourself for having to do everything. Would that be right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so you're doing less work.
They are capable humans.
I
Who would have thought?
love it. I love it. And that took a little bit of, I'd say, convincing. A little bit
Yes.
of convincing for you, didn't it? Amazing. And it's just really, I think, I'm not a mum, so I can't talk here. Maybe I know that Katie's watching. You're both mums, so maybe you guys could probably speak for me, but there must be, I'm assuming because of the amount of people that I speak to that are mums, some form of mum guilt that where you ladies just have to feel like you have to be doing everything.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing here that there's probably pressure among other mums, among society, of expectations of cooking, cleaning, keeping up with the chores, making sure that all of their washing's done, and making sure that they're fed properly and healthily, and that they're well mannered, and that they go to bed on time. And I'm assuming, and again, I'm just having to assume here, that is probably a lot of pressure that you were dealing with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So I assumed correct.
Yes.
Cool. And so setting boundaries, putting yourself first, starting to believe in yourself, starting to trust yourself, all of these things that we were working on, how did that release some pressure?
It I mean, it released a lot of pressure. The other thing that you've taught me is that just doing it and failing is better than not doing it at all, because I can't do it perfectly, and that's been huge.
Huge. Okay. Yeah. So I think this was a big breakthrough in the challenge that we just recently run as well, is failing. If you're not failing, you're not trying, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the example that I used there was, if I didn't fail 100 times, I wouldn't be sat here interviewing you on your life change. And so the knock-on effect of getting up and trying again, getting up and trying again, of seeing failure as a learning opportunity is monumental. Because anytime you got knocked down, anytime something didn't work, anytime you didn't stick to it or stick to your promises, is a perfect opportunity to learn and to grow and to navigate and find a new path and to make it work. And if you didn't follow that, and that wasn't a breakthrough that you necessarily had, would we be here having the same conversation now?
No, and it wasn't even failing and getting back up. It was just the thought of failing stopped me from even trying.
Yeah. And that's why we had to shift all of the mental stuff, all of the thought work, and change all of that first. Because we were giving you tools. Let's face it, I was giving you a few tools from day one.
Oh, yeah.
And we'd jump on and it would be like, okay, how'd you do? Yeah, I didn't do that. I'm like, okay, cool. Why? And I love the fact that you mentioned that, and it's just that breakthrough of, hang on a minute, well, imperfect action, even if it looks the messiest, as long as I took action, it's still action, right? It's still
Yeah.
progress.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Another thought that just came to me that I
Please
love this
share.
thing, is I always deserved junk food or treats or
I'm really sorry, my phone went off again. You're
no,
gonna have to say that one more time. My apologies.
I felt like I deserved treats or junk food or and that's not respecting my body that you've taught me, and that's been a huge shift too.
Yeah. So anyone who's either a client of mine or been on the challenge, a challenge, will know at some point the word treat is my trigger word. Most dogs, their ears perk up, my lip comes up. I'm like, don't like that word, because you're so true. You're so right in the fact that we often like to look at neglecting our bodies as a treat. And how messed up is that? But that's not your fault. That's not my fault. That's society's fault. It's just the place that we live in, right? And so for you to be able to see, oh, this donut or this biscuit or this cookie, this takeaway, whatever, this is my treat. I get to have that. And it's like, what? I get to have diabetes? I get to have obesity? Or what? Hang on a minute. Because I've done well, because I've been good, I get to add on an extra kilo. Like, that's not fun. That's not fun. And we shifted that as well, which I love. And so thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. Amazing.
Oh,
Amazing. Sorry?
Oh, thank you. And the
Oh.
way that you say things is so different and hits home. It's funny.
Yeah, I think having someone there who doesn't necessarily know all your thoughts, know your life, know the ins and outs, having a neutral perspective is probably really different, because you've said that a few times, like, oh, the way that you put it, oh, that actually sounds strange, that sounds bizarre, like, why do I do that? Yeah, I get it. And it's just to have like a neutral perspective and just someone else to say, are you sure that's the thought that you want to think, or are you sure that's true? It's yeah, it's life changing. Amazing. Okay, and just one last point as well. You've been doing a lot of decluttering and clearing out for the new version of you.
Yes.
Amazing. Can you tell us a little bit about before and after?
I didn't take pictures. I wish I had. And it's not perfect, but it's just that, even like that self-belief that I can and that I deserve it. And it feels good.
So just to put into perspective there, Amy has been clearing her environment, clearing out her house, and just kind of getting rid of some clutter and junk little bit by little bit, and just making way and making space for the new version of her, making space for the kids and for your partner as well as for you. And just, I mean, how does it feel like mentally when you look at a little bit more space every day?
It's come along a lot, like this journey. Like, that was my wall or my shell, and little bit by little bit, it's coming down.
Amazing. I love that. Oh, so powerful, so beautiful. Yes, I love that. Okay, wow, what a total life overhaul. That is why I called this business Overhaul. You are the reason why I called this business Overhaul. You've had a complete life overhaul, and you're just going like this. It's amazing. You're soaring. Fantastic. Okay, I would love for you to share, if you wouldn't mind, maybe 3 tips that you think would be incredibly helpful for anyone watching this who might suffer from low self-worth, maybe struggling with their diet or getting stuck in life and health. Like, just 3 of your top tips.
The question, is it true with your thoughts?
Okay.
That's big. And then probably,
so always question a thought. So anytime you have a thought, just ask yourself, is that thought true or is it false? Love that. I love that.
I think it's can you prove it like in a court of law? Like that would be the true, not just your mind, but what are the facts?
Yeah, like, okay, how opinionated is that? Like, let's just look at that, and let's take away any words, descriptor words that may emphasize it or make it seem like it's not true.
Yes. And then probably the hunger and fullness cues, listening to my body.
Listen to your body.
Yeah.
One more. What's been the biggest game changer for
you? Putting food on a plate.
I love that. Actually, like, portion yourself off the plate, as opposed to, like, would you like just graze over what you'd made?
I wouldn't even do that.
Okay, so either don't graze over, or actually make yourself a plate and sit down and eat it like a real human being, like you deserve. I knew this one was going to be a tearjerker, and I knew it was going to be really inspirational. I just knew it. So I appreciate you for coming on and sharing. We've had a couple of comments, so I'm just going to quickly flick through to see if anyone's got any questions. The first one is Becky. The reception's a bit sketchy. Oh, connecting for 5 minutes. No, that was probably us, to be fair. Cheers to you, Amy, for your openness, says Rebecca. Katie, definitely not alone, falling into the junk food trap with kids. And Katie, workload triples once you're a parent. Such a shock to the system. End up putting yourself last. There you go. So it is a mama thing, but this mama deserves so much more. So keep going, you absolute rock star. I appreciate you, and thank you so much for joining. Sorry about the last minute faff, but thank you so much for sharing your experiences, your total and utter life overhaul, and I can't wait to see you bloom.
Thank you so much.
My absolute pleasure. All right, this has been Amy. Thank you so much, my lovely, for joining. I appreciate you, and I will see you soon.
And thanks.
Take care. Bye.